The 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar is a United States 50-cent coin struck at the United States Mint facility in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark found on the obverse front of the coin just below President Kennedy's neck truncation. This coin is part of a long-running Kennedy half-dollar series, first issued in 1964 following the assassination of John F. Kennedy. By 1971, the half-dollar had already undergone significant composition changes. From 1965 through 1970, Kennedy half-dollars were struck in a 40% silver-clad composition, but beginning in 1971, including the 1971 D issue, the coin was changed to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices and the ongoing removal of silver from circulating U.S. coinage. The 1971 D half-dollar contains no silver. Instead, it consists of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of pure copper, giving it a total weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and a reeded edge. The obverse design, created by Gilroy Roberts, features a left-facing portrait of President Kennedy. The word Liberty appears prominently along the top rim, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," is split across the lower field beneath the portrait, and the date 1971 appears at the bottom. The reverse design, prepared by Frank Gasparo, displays a heraldic eagle adapted from the presidential seal, with a shield on its chest, an olive branch in one talon symbolizing peace, and arrows in the other symbolizing readiness to defend the nation. Above the eagle's head is a cluster of stars surrounded by rays, and around the rim are the inscriptions, United States of America and half-dollar. The motto E pluribus unum appears on a banner above the eagle's head. The 1971 D half-dollar was produced primarily for circulation, with a mintage exceeding 300 million pieces, approximately 302 million, reflecting the continued large-scale production of clad coinage during that era. Although minted in high numbers, many 1971 D half-dollars were saved in uncirculated condition because half-dollars were not widely used in daily commerce after the 1960s. As a result, uncirculated examples, often described as mint state, MS, are relatively common today. In numismatic grading terms, an untitled or untouched uncirculated coin typically means it shows no signs of wear from circulation, though it may exhibit minor contact marks from mint handling. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. Most uncirculated 1971 D half-dollars fall between MS 60 and MS 65, while higher quality examples graded MS 66 or MS 67 by third-party grading services can command premium prices due to their superior luster, strike quality, and minimal surface marks. In average uncirculated condition, the 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar generally holds a modest collector value slightly above face value, often ranging from a few dollars depending on condition and eye appeal. However, exceptional specimens certified at the highest mint state grades can sell for significantly more at auction. It is important to note that no regular proof versions of the 1971 D half-dollar were struck in Denver. Proof coins for that year were produced at the San Francisco Mint and bear the S Mint mark. The 1971 D issue represents the first year of a copper-nickel-clad composition for circulating Kennedy half-dollars, marking an important transition in modern U.S. coinage history. Collectors often seek well-struck examples with strong detail in Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers, as some pieces from this year are known for relatively weak strikes. Overall, the 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar is a historically significant but widely available modern U.S. coin that combines patriotic inscriptions, Liberty, In God We Trust, and E pluribus unum, with the enduring memorial portrait of President Kennedy, making it a popular and affordable addition to many coin collections. Next top. The 1972 Kennedy half-dollar is a United States 50-cent coin issued by the United States Mint as part of a long-running Kennedy half-dollar program, which began in 1964 to honor the late President John F. Kennedy after his assassination in 1963. By 1972, the half-dollar had already transitioned away from silver. Unlike the 1964 issue, 90% silver, and the 1965 to 1970 issues, 40% silver, The 1972 half dollar was struck entirely in a copper-nickel clad composition for circulation. This clad structure consists of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin a total weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, a thickness of approximately 2.15 millimeters, and a reeded grooved edge. The obverse front design was created by U.S. Mint chief engraver Gilroy Roberts and features a left-facing portrait of President Kennedy. The word Liberty appears prominently around the upper rim, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," is inscribed in 2 lines beneath the chin and above the date 1972, which appears at the bottom center. The mint mark, when present, is located just below Kennedy's neck truncation on the obverse. In 1972, half dollars were struck at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D mint mark; and San Francisco, S mint mark. The reverse back design, prepared by mint engraver Frank Gasparo, depicts a heraldic eagle based on the presidential seal. The eagle holds an olive branch in its right talon, symbolizing peace, and a bundle of arrows in its left talon, symbolizing military readiness. A shield covers the eagle's chest, and above its head is a ring of stars surrounded by rays. The inscriptions "United States of America" and half dollar encircle the rim, while the Latin motto "E pluribus unum" appears on a banner above the eagle's head. In terms of mintage, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar was produced in large numbers for circulation, with Philadelphia striking over 150 million coins and Denver striking over 140 million coins, while San Francisco produced proof versions for collectors. Because half dollars were not widely used in everyday transactions during the 1970s, having largely disappeared from regular commerce after the mid-1960s, many 1972 coins were saved in uncirculated condition. As a result, they are common today in mint state grades. Uncirculated coins, often described as mint state MS, show nowhere from circulation, but may display contact marks from mint handling and storage. On the Sheldon grading scale from 1 to 70, most 1972 half dollars are found in grades ranging from MS-60 to MS-65, with higher grades such as MS-66 or MS-67 being scarcer and more valuable due to better strike quality, stronger luster, and fewer surface marks. Proof coins from San Francisco, identified by the S mint mark and mirror-like surfaces, were specially struck for collectors and often exhibit frosted design elements contrasted against highly polished fields. In average circulated condition, a 1972 Kennedy half dollar is generally worth its face value of 50 cents, while uncirculated examples typically carry a modest premium of a few dollars depending on condition and eye appeal. Certified high-grade specimens graded by professional services can sell for higher prices, particularly those with exceptional luster or superior strike detail in Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers. Historically, the 1972 issue represents a continuation of the clad coinage era in U.S. history, reflecting the nation's shift away from precious metal coinage due to rising silver costs and economic changes in the late 1960s. The coin retains its patriotic inscriptions, "Liberty," "In God We Trust," and "E pluribus unum," which reflect core American ideals of freedom, faith, unity, and national identity. Although not rare, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar remains an important piece of modern U.S. numismatics, valued both as a circulating coin of its era and as part of a widely collected series that memorializes one of the most significant presidents in American history. Next top. The 1980 D. Kennedy half dollar is a United States 50-cent coin struck at the United States Mint facility in Denver. The D mint mark, found on the obverse front of the coin just below the truncation of President Kennedy's neck, indicates it was produced at the Denver Mint. This coin continues the long-running Kennedy half-dollar series that began in 1964 shortly after the assassination of John F. Kennedy. The coin was authorized by Congress and quickly became one of the most collected modern U.S. coin series. The obverse design features a left-facing portrait of President Kennedy created by Chief Engraver Gilroy Roberts. Across the top rim of the obverse appears the word Liberty, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," is inscribed in 2 lines below Kennedy's chin and above the date. The year 1980 appears at the bottom rim. The design is based on a medal originally prepared for Kennedy's presidential inaugural, later adapted for the half-dollar. The portrait is highly detailed, showing Kennedy's hair texture and profile in strong relief, especially on uncirculated examples. On the reverse back of the coin is the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo, who was also chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time. The design features a heraldic eagle with wings spread, holding an olive branch in its right talon and a bundle of arrows in its left, symbolizing peace and strength. Above the eagle's head are rays and a ring of stars. The inscription, United States of America, curves along the top edge, while half-dollar appears at the bottom. The Latin motto, E pluribus unum, out of many one, is inscribed on a banner above the eagle's head. The 1980 D. Kennedy half-dollar is composed of a copper-nickel-clad composition. Unlike the earlier 1964 issue, which was 90% silver, and the 1965 to 1970 issues, which contained 40% silver, by 1971 the half-dollar transitioned fully to a copper-nickel-clad structure. The coin's outer layers are 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. It has a total weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter of 30.6 millimeters, and a reeded edge, with 150 reeds. In terms of mintage, the Denver Mint produced approximately 33,456,449 half-dollars in 1980. While this is a relatively high number, Kennedy half-dollars from the late 1970s and early 1980s were not widely circulated in everyday commerce. By that time, half-dollars had largely fallen out of regular use in the United States, mainly due to declining demand and hoarding of earlier silver issues. As a result, many 1980 D coins were saved in uncirculated rolls by collectors and speculators. An uncirculated, untouched, or mint state 1980 D half-dollar shows no signs of wear from circulation. The surfaces retain their original mint luster, which appears as a cartwheel shine when the coin is tilted under light. High points such as Kennedy's cheekbone, jawline, and hair above the ear should show no flattening or dullness. On the reverse, the eagle's breast feathers and wing tips remain sharp and fully detailed. Any marks present on uncirculated coins are typically bag marks from contact with other coins during storage and transport, rather than wear from use. Grading of uncirculated coins follows the Sheldon scale, ranging from MS 60 to MS 70. A typical uncirculated 1980 D half-dollar may grade around MS 63 to MS 65 if well preserved. Higher grade examples, MS 66 or above, with strong luster, minimal contact marks, and excellent eye appeal can command higher premiums. Coins graded and certified by professional services, such as Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, may sell for more depending on condition and market demand. In terms of value, a typical uncirculated 1980 D. Kennedy half-dollar is usually worth modestly above face value, often between $1 and $5 depending on condition. Exceptionally high-grade specimens may sell for higher prices in the collector market, but the coin remains common overall. Since it contains no silver, its intrinsic metal value is equal only to its copper and nickel content, which is generally less than face value. Collectors often seek full original mint luster and strong strike quality in 1980 D coins. Denver minted examples are usually well struck, though minor weakness can appear in the eagle's breast feathers. Some collectors also search for varieties or mint errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, or clipped planchets, although no major widely recognized varieties are associated specifically with the 1980 D issue. Historically, the Kennedy half-dollar series represents both a memorial to President Kennedy and a reflection of changing coin usage patterns in the United States. Although half-dollars were once common in daily transactions, by 1980 they were primarily collected rather than circulated. Today, the 1980 D. Kennedy half-dollar remains an accessible and affordable piece of modern U.S. numismatics, valued next top. The 1983 D. Kennedy half-dollar is a United States 50-cent coin struck at the United States Mint facility in Denver and the small d mint mark on the obverse confirms its origin at the Denver Mint. This coin is part of a long-running Kennedy half-dollar series, first introduced in 1964 to honor the late President John F. Kennedy, following his assassination in 1963. The Kennedy half-dollar replaced the Franklin half-dollar and quickly became both a circulating coin and a memorial tribute. By 1983, however, half-dollars were no longer commonly used in daily commerce, and most examples were saved directly by collectors or stored in bank vaults, rather than widely circulating in pocket change. The obverse front of a 1983 D half-dollar features the left-facing portrait of President Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts, who was chief engraver of the United States Mint at the time of the coin's introduction. Kennedy's profile is depicted with finely detailed hair and strong relief in the cheek and jawline. Around the upper rim appears the word Liberty, a traditional inscription found on many United States coins symbolizing freedom. Below Kennedy's chin and above the date 1983 is the national motto, "In God We Trust," arranged in 2 lines. The mint mark D is located just below the truncation of Kennedy's neck. The date 1983 appears at the bottom of the obverse, centered along the rim. The reverse back of the coin displays a heraldic eagle based on the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo, who succeeded Roberts as chief engraver. The eagle holds an olive branch in its right talon and arrows in its left, representing peace and military readiness. Above the eagle's head is a cluster of stars surrounded by rays. The Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is inscribed on a banner above the eagle. The words United States of America arc around the top border of the reverse, and half-dollar appears along the bottom. The design has remained essentially unchanged since the series began, making it one of the longest-running modern U.S. coin designs. The 1983 D. Kennedy half-dollar is composed of copper-nickel-clad metal. Since 1971, regular circulation half-dollars have been struck in a layered composition consisting of outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of nearly pure copper. The coin weighs 11.34 grams, measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge with 150 reeds. Unlike the original 1964 issue, which was 90% silver, and the 1965 to 1970 issues, which contain 40% silver, the 1983 D contains no silver and therefore has no precious metal value beyond its face value. The mintage for the 1983 D. Kennedy half-dollar was approximately 67,273,839 coins, a relatively high number. However, an important historical detail about 1983 half-dollars, both Philadelphia and Denver issues, is that no official uncirculated mint sets were produced by the United States Mint that year. Because of this, collectors who wanted uncirculated examples had to obtain them directly from banks or save them from circulation. As a result, high-grade mint state examples are somewhat more desirable compared to many other early 1980s issues. Many coins from this year show contact marks from bulk storage in bags, and sharply struck, well-preserved specimens with strong luster are especially appealing to collectors. An uncirculated 1983 D half-dollar, often described as mint state, will show no wear on high points such as Kennedy's cheekbone, hair above the ear, and jawline. The reverse eagle's breast feathers and wing tips should appear crisp and well-defined. Original mint luster creates a rotating cartwheel effect when the coin is tilted under light. Minor nicks, known as bag marks, may still be present from contact with other coins during handling at the mint. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from MS 60, uncirculated but heavily marked, to MS 70, perfect with no visible flaws under magnification. Professional grading companies, such as Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, often certify high-grade examples, which can command stronger premiums in the numismatic marketplace. In terms of value, most 1983 D. Kennedy half-dollars in circulated condition are worth face value 50 cents. Uncirculated examples generally range from about $1 to $5, depending on quality. Higher grade specimens, particularly those graded MS 66 or above, may sell for significantly more due to relative scarcity in top condition. Since no silver is present, the coin's value depends entirely on collector demand and condition rather than metal content. The broader significance of the 1983 D. Kennedy half-dollar lies in its place within modern American coinage history. By the early 1980s, inflation and changing spending habits had reduced the use of half-dollars in daily transactions. Many Americans rarely encounter them in circulation, and banks next top. The 2023 P. Kennedy half-dollar is a modern United States 50-cent coin struck at the United States Mint facility in Philadelphia, and the small p mint mark on the obverse identifies its production at the Philadelphia Mint. This coin continues the Kennedy half-dollar series, first introduced in 1964 to honor the memory of John F. Kennedy after his assassination in 1963. For nearly 6 decades, the Kennedy half-dollar has remained one of the most recognizable modern U.S. coins, serving both as a circulating denomination and as a commemorative tribute to the 35th President of the United States. By 2023, however, half-dollars are no longer widely used in everyday commerce and are produced primarily for collectors and limited circulation distribution. The obverse front of the 2023 P half-dollar features the classic left-facing portrait of President Kennedy designed by Gilroy Roberts, who was chief engraver of the United States Mint when the series began. The portrait was adapted from a medal originally prepared for Kennedy's presidential inaugural. The word Liberty curves boldly around the upper edge of the coin, partially surrounding Kennedy's head. Below his chin and above the date 2023 appears the national motto, "In God We Trust," arranged in 2 lines. The mint mark P is located just below the truncation of Kennedy's neck. The design remains largely unchanged from its original 1964 introduction, reflecting continuity and tradition in U.S. coinage. The reverse back of the 2023 P. Kennedy half-dollar continues to display the presidential seal design created by Frank Gasparo. The central image is a heraldic eagle with wings spread wide. In its right talon, the eagle holds an olive branch symbolizing peace. In its left talon, it clutches a bundle of arrows representing readiness to defend the nation. Above the eagle's head is a ring of stars and rays. The Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, is inscribed on a banner above the eagle. The words United States of America appear around the upper rim, while half-dollar is inscribed along the bottom edge. This reverse design has been used since 1964, making it one of the longest-running reverse designs on modern American coinage. In terms of composition, the 2023 P. Kennedy half-dollar is struck in copper-nickel-clad metal, the standard composition used for circulating half-dollars since 1971. The coin consists of outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a core of nearly pure copper. It weighs 11.34 grams, measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge containing 150 reeds. Unlike the original 1964 Kennedy half-dollar, which contained 90% silver, and the 1965 to 1970 issues, which were 40% silver, the 2023 issue contains no silver in its standard circulation strike version. However, the United States Mint also produces special collector editions in silver, including proof and uncirculated versions sold directly to collectors. By 2023, the half-dollar is no longer widely distributed for general circulation. Instead, most 2023 P half-dollars are sold in rolls, bags, or included in official mint sets by the United States Mint. Although they are legal tender and may occasionally be found in circulation, they are typically acquired by collectors rather than used in everyday transactions. The relatively limited circulation distribution compared to earlier decades makes modern half-dollars somewhat less common in pocket change, even though they are not rare in the collector marketplace. An uncirculated 2023 P half-dollar, often referred to as mint state, shows no wear on the high points of the design. Kennedy's cheek jawline and hair detail remain sharp and fully defined, while the eagle's feathers on the reverse appear crisp. Original mint luster produces a bright, reflective sheen with a cartwheel effect when tilted under light. Coins may show minor contact marks from mint handling, but no smoothing or flattening from circulation. Professional grading services, such as Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, certify high-grade examples, assigning grades from MS 60 through MS 70 on the Sheldon scale. Perfect MS 70 examples are typically modern coins with flawless surfaces under magnification and can command premiums among collectors seeking top-quality registry set pieces. In terms of value, a typical 2023 P. Kennedy half-dollar in uncirculated condition is generally worth slightly above its face value of 50 cents when sold individually, though rolls or official mint package versions may carry higher premiums due to packaging and collector demand. Special proof or silver versions issued by the United States Mint can be worth significantly more, especially if preserved in original packaging or graded highly. Since the standard circulation strike coin contains no precious metal, its intrinsic metal value is lower than its face value and does not significantly affect